Okay. Good morning. Welcome to our weekly New Gambia platform, or New Gambia Media live talk show. Today is March 26, 2023. Today we have a guest in the house. His name is Lamin Bojang. He's the PRO of Coalition of Progressive Gambia. We're going to be discussing about their organization. What are the aims and objectives? What were the plans in the past that they were thinking of doing, and how come those plans never materialize? What are the way forward when it comes to Gambia, and what is its role in the organization? Okay. All right. I mean, are you on board?
Yeah, I'm on board. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
listening.
Okay, so we have our co-panelists here, co-panelists joining us a little later, Sam Sise and Pamela Drame. And I'm your host here in New York City, Mamudu Sawane. Welcome, Lamin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sawane, for inviting me to your noble platform. Yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. So just give us a little bit bio about yourself and your organization and your role in the organization.
I am Lamin Bojang, born in the village called Pira in the Combo East West Coast region. Presently, I'm a farmer by profession.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Also, I'm the PRO of the group called the Coalition of Progressive Gambians, formed mainly to hold our political leaders accountable, especially the campaign promises they made to us when we are putting them to power. But this group is mainly formed to hold government accountable and also to bring together citizens to have a vision for the country. Yes.
Okay. Then tell us a little bit bio. Do you have any little bio about yourself and in terms of like I know you say you are a farmer, but how did you come to this position, being a PRO of this group?
Yeah. As you know, every group is formed by people. I'm a member and a founding member of this group. We formed this group. Then have an executive selection. I have been chosen to be the PRO of the group. This is how I become the PRO. But I'm a founding member of this group. It's not that it was formed and then I joined. No, we formed this group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So what about how does this group come to existence? You guys just stand up, get up one day and say we're gonna form a group, or was there something that was happening that make you form the Progressive Gambia?
Exactly. There is a motive of the reason why we formed this group. There is a motive behind it, because if you all recall, we made a change in 2016, whereby we have been ruled by a dictator for 22 years. After the change of government, the aspiration of the Gambian people and the expectation after the change of government, really, we were not happy the way the government was going, especially what we fought for in 2016 and things that were happening in 2016 or before 2016 are the same things trying to repeat themselves again. So we decided to form this group to be a watchdog between us and the between citizens and the government. This is why we said we are formed to hold government accountable to the people, because we put them in position. They have to be accountable to us as citizens. This is why this group is formed, to hold government accountable, especially the campaign promises that they make to us when they are looking for positions. And we choose leaders to deliver. We don't put people in position just for them to be there. We expect them to be there to deliver or to serve our interests. This is why this group is formed, to hold government accountable.
Okay. Before I go any further, I have my colleague here, Sams, to say.
Okay.
A a newbie from Gambia, a newly fresh person who just came from the Gambia. Sam,
Okay.
welcome to the show. We miss you for like couple of weeks.
I know. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Definitely, I really missed the show and I missed everything. Yeah, missed everyone. So
Yeah, welcome back. And you look young, you look
I
young and
know, I
fresh.
know.
Coming
Thank
from
you.
the Gambia. What's up?
Is the air quality in Gambia? How about that? It's a great place to go. It's really fun. I enjoyed the show.
Welcome, Sam. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. And you are Mr. Bojang, Lamin Bojang, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Sam sister. So definitely nice to meet you here.
Nice to meet you too. Thank
Yeah.
you. Welcome to the show.
Good.
Yeah, Sam. So Lamin is just explaining the purpose of the group, why it was formed, and then that's what we were at when you came in.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll let him continue so I can listen to everything he says. You know.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead. Okay,
He's
Lamin.
gonna be talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So Lamin, you can continue. You said that the group was formed because you saw a lot of things that's not going right, and then you guys have to sit down and think about the group. Yeah. So that's what you were explaining. So you want to continue? Or you want us to
Yeah, that's true. Because as we all know, we were under a dictatorship for 22 years, and it took Gambians a lot to change that regime with resources, with a lot of sacrifices that we made in 2016 to have a regime change. Gambians went into exile, people disappeared. Many things happened during the 22 years of regime. We decided to come together to change that system. It went up to an extent, Gambians said, we have decided. What did we decide? To have a regime and a system change. Not only a regime change, but a system change too. What kind of system are we to change? Things that were happening for the past 22 years, we should not sit and see them repeating themselves again. So this is why when we sit as concerned citizens, what the government, the new government, we really know, we have this feeling that it is time for us to come together again to form a group that will really hold government accountable, so that we'll not be going back to the former days of government.
Okay. Thank you. So just to follow up with that, that's a great idea to hold the government accountable, to make sure the system change, to make sure these are powerful ideas and powerful words. But how long have you been in existence since your formation?
We are almost 1 year now.
So 1 year. Have you accomplished any of those?
I will say yes. We have started it is a process, because as long as there is government going on, the pressure group also should exist alongside that government to hold them accountable. This is why, if you could recall, in November last year, we planned a peaceful demonstration because of certain things happening in this country that we see as something we have to make a stop, or we have to make citizens aware that there is something happening that need to be addressed, especially the corruption that is really consuming or is drilling the development of this country for many years.
Okay, so did you succeed in launching that that thing that you was trying to do, or did you fail?
No, I will not say we failed, because as citizens, it is our fundamental right given to us by the Constitution to come out and demonstrate, show our grief against anything that is happening. Either you go to the law, you write a petition, or you come out to show your grievance against anything that is happening in your country. As we plan to come out on the 11th of November, we have engagement through Supreme Islamic Council. Government come to engage us. So we decided to postpone, then have dialogue with the government. The dialogue with the government will determine our next step. So I will not say we fail, or we postpone.
Yes. Okay. How far is that dialogue? Is this still going on, or you have
it is still going on. It is still going on. But for us as a group, we have come with a press release expressing our disappointment the way things are going since November to date. We have come out with that press release, and we have copied the mediators between us and the government, that is the Supreme Islamic Council and the Peace Network. We have sent them a copy expressing our disappointment on the side of the government, because we postponed for a purpose. Then, after evaluating from November to date, absolutely nothing has changed on the side of the government by going through our demands.
So what is the next step?
Right now, we have started sensitizing again, and we have started mobilizing, going back to the drawing board. According to our group, we will announce a date after Ramadan. The nationwide project that had been postponed will announce a new scheduled date for it after Ramadan. That's our position right now as a group.
And how about if Supreme Islamic Council come again and the government say, let's talk, sit down and talk, guys, what happens?
Yeah, Mr. Sawane, let me tell you one thing, because, we as a group, we are a pressure group.
Mm-hmm.
We are a pressure group. We put our demands for government to address. And this is why we postponed our peaceful plan process in November, expecting that government will honor their side of the deal. But since November to date, nothing absolutely has changed. If you look at the market right now, it's skyrocketing in the market. Nothing has changed on that. We have spent over 16 million on the draft constitution. That is part of our demands. Still, nothing has changed on that. The bonding of the fisheries department, an inquiry was set up to date, almost coming up to 2 years. Nothing is being heard from the side of the government. You name them. All this I'm listening to you are our demands that we made to the government that will warrant us to come out on the 11th of November last year. But through the intervention of Supreme Islamic Council and Peace Network, we decided to postpone and then go into dialogue with the government. And in any negotiation, there must be a positive outcome. For us as a group, from November to date, definitely nothing has come positively on the side of the state. This is why we said we are going back to the drawing board after Ramadan. This is our position.
Okay. Sam, I will let you come in, and then we can move from there.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bojang. Thank you. So, my first question is: have you guys thought about engaging the government prior to going for a peaceful demonstration? Did you try to contact the government and say, hey, since you're a pressure group, we would like to talk to you. We have some demands. We have some things that we want to voice our opinion, or we want to come out. Can we talk? Have you tried to do that first before going out? That way there will not be any intervention. If somebody comes in and say, we need to talk and engage the government first, you could say, well, we've already done that and nothing happened out of there. That's why we're going out. Have you tried to engage the government first before doing that?
Thank you very much for that question. This group come up with a press release outlining some of our demands that will warrant us to come out in November. We said, if government fail to address our demands, come November 11th, we will have a nationwide protest.
Okay.
That message is very clear. We have been saying this on over and over on the radios, on television, and media houses for almost 3 months before November. I think government start engaging us just a week or so before November 11th. But as we said, if government fail to address our demands, then if the moment government wanted to come and have negotiation with the group, we cannot say no. Even on the 10th of November, if government said they want to have dialogue with the group, we cannot say no if we don't have any hidden agenda against the government that we don't have. This is why when Supreme Islamic Council, before Supreme Islamic Council intervened, the CIU, the Interpol office engaged us. They were the first to engage this group because we wrote a permit. The IGP refused to grant us permit. We reapply again. But our second demand, we said, with or without permit, will come out. That is the reason why the CIU engaged us, the Interpol, at the police headquarters. We have a series of meetings with them before the intervention of Supreme Islamic Council. The Supreme Islamic Council intervention come at a time. Already we have made our case very clear. With or without permit, on the 11th of November, we'll have a massive countrywide demonstration. By hearing that the Supreme Islamic Council contacted us, they said they want to have a dialogue with us as a group. We were invited to their office. We have a meeting with them. We explained everything to them. They said that they will talk to the government. After two days or so, we have a call from them again. They said they want us to sit together with them and the stakeholders, that is the government. That is how Supreme Islamic Council come into the picture. Then we started having negotiation. Office of the IGP, the interior, you name them, they all used to come to have dialogue with us at the Supreme Islamic Council until on the 8th, if my memory can serve me well, on the 8th, we decided to postpone to have a dialogue that our demands will be addressed by the state from the different ministries that our demands lies on. Then first to engage us was the Ministry of Trade. We have a meeting with the minister and his team at the Supreme Islamic Council. Almost 4 hours or so, we were there. The minister was there. The Minister of Trade was there and his team. And we were told to write a recommendation as a group to submit to the ministry. We did that. We don't have any reply from them. We sent a follow-up letter again to the ministry. We don't have any reply from them. We have second engagement with the Justice Minister. The minister also was present with his team. The same venue, Supreme Islamic Council. We were also asked to write recommendations to the Ministry of Justice, which we did. Until I'm speaking to you now, we don't have any reply from them. Then we decided to sit as a group, because if you assign me to do something, at least I should have a response from you. After acknowledging that you have received my letter, I will expect a reply from you. That they did not do. So as a group, as a pressure group, this is a pressure group. As a pressure group, we see it necessary for us to evaluate before going to meet other ministers again. The two ministers that we have meetings with them fail to answer to our calls or our demands. It means it is not necessary for us to continue again with other ministries. As long as the first ones, they really fail to address our demands. This is why we said we are disappointed, and we put that on a press release that we share with the media houses and the other two mediating teams, that the Civil Islamic Council and Peace Network. We have an engagement with the auditors office also, because the auditors, they make many queries and reports on the side of the government. This is why we have an engagement with them too. But for them, they have made their position very clear to us that, their duty is to make auditing, make recommendations, and submit their reports. That's where they can stop. We, as a pressure group, we decided that enough is enough. We have to go back to the drawing board. This is why we went to the Civil Islamic Council to have a meeting with them. We have a meeting with the Civil Islamic Council as the mediators to inform them that our disappointment on the side of the government, so that before doing anything, they can be put in picture. Because they are the two mediating teams, the Civil Islamic Council and the Peace Network. Before coming up with our final press release calling on governments to come out, we have to engage them. And we have that engagement with them. For them also, they told us to write formally to them so that they will engage the government. But we have made it clear to them that we are disappointed, really disappointed on the side of the government. We are really disappointed. Please. Sorry for that interruption.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. This is why we have a meeting with the Civil Islamic Council and Peace Network to put to them that we are disappointed as a group, because there was a promise made by the state that they will honor their side of the story. But since November to date, absolutely, for us as a group, nothing has changed. So this is why we said, after Ramadan, we'll announce a date for a nationwide protest against what our demands are. This is our position as a group as of now. I hope that is clear.
Thank you, thank you. Sam, any you want any follow up on that?
Yeah. I think first, thank you for going through all of that and explaining all the some of the details that made you come up to this decision. I know that you said that you have a plan to announce a new date after Ramadan. If I hear you correctly, if I heard you correctly, that's what you said, after Ramadan. Now, my question is, do you believe that once you make that announcement that you're going to have a new date for another peaceful demonstration or so, that the government will not intervene and waste your time? To me, the last date that you had was just a waste of time, a runaround by the government. You submitted your letters to the government and Supreme, is it the Islamic Council or whatever, that institution, and you have not heard any response from any one of them. Don't you think that was just a waste of time and run around just to change your mind, or just to make you change your mind of the whole intended purpose?
Yes. As we said, for us as a group, we have made it very clear, and our position is very clear. We postpone based on our negotiation with the government. And in any negotiation, there must be a positive outcome. That's our expectation. Because calling on governments to come out in their numbers in the countrywide demonstration is a threat to the government. That's why they use the Islamic Council to engage us. We have that belief during the negotiation that our demands will be made by the state. which we are very, very disappointed as a group. This is why this time around it's not gonna be the same as usual. As a pressure group, this time around we mean business, because we knew very well that this government will never, and they will never honor their side of the story. Since November to date, last year November, just imagine if we should have a meeting with the state minister for almost 4 hours, tell us to write our own recommendation, how certain things can be solved. We send you a copy of that. You acknowledge that you have received it, but fail to respond. We send a follow-up letter again to you, and you have received it again. But since date, until I'm speaking to you now, we don't have any response from the trade minister and his team, and the justice minister also.
Okay.
In essence, what we understand is that the government is just trying to play a game just for us to postpone our nationwide protest, because that was a threat. You all knew the November 11 protest that was planned was a headache for the state. This is why ministers will close their offices, come to Shumi Islamic Council to have engagement with this group. Top security officers, head of internal security, SIS, you name them, CIU, head of Interpol, from IG's office, all we have meeting with them because of the seriousness of the November planned peaceful protest. It is a countrywide, as it was planned. And we know definitely government don't have that capacity to control a nationwide protest in this country. Yes, we knew that. This is why they make it possible for Supreme Islamic Council to engage us so that we can postpone and have a dialogue. But what we learned is that they are just trying to play a game, and they have succeeded in doing that. This is why we said this time around we mean business.
Yeah. So in my opinion, I always say something here. I always say, in my opinion, I always say something here. I always say, in my opinion.
So, is there echoing?
I always say. I'm hearing an echo here. I'm not sure. Okay, it stopped. Okay, so I have a phrase that I always think about and I always say, and the phrase is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So in my opinion, your nationwide protest or demonstration, whichever you call them, was not well planned, because if it was well planned, it would have looked at, and I'm saying this for planning purpose, if you're planning to do another one, but you definitely needed to look at contingency plan. What if, answer all your questions, or as a group, sit down and ask yourself, what if they do this? What if they do this? What if they want to waste our time? We know that things like that's going to come, things that you should anticipate that will come from the government, especially when they call for a talk first. You should have what if this, what if this, what are your answers, and get prepared for all of those answers. And also, when they demand or they ask that you write to them, I would have, if I was planning, I would have had everything in my hand that day. The day we met with them, when they say we want you to write them, we can say, here it is, this is what we have. Have it present and have it handy and hand it to them. So don't give them any room. And also, in those requests that you put in, I would have a very specific date. If we don't hear from you until so-and-so date, we will come out. So when you don't hear from them, because it sounds like from what you just said, you met with different ministers, and they all wanted you to write something. I mean, I thought that was just, you've already made press release that you put all your stuff in there in your press release. You've put all the fundamental stuff that you want covered. They've seen all of that. And then now they're telling you to go write again. I think that was, to me, that was childish. You know, you have everything I need. Why would you tell me to go write again? Here it is. Here's the paper. And I am going to demand that if I don't hear anything until this date, or if we as a group, if we don't hear anything until this date, we are going to move on with our protest or our demonstration. You know what I mean? If you put specific dates in place, and then you, as a group, plan for that. If you don't hear anything after that date, then here's the next step. Your group should have really planned for the next step at that point. And the next step will be so-and-so date is when we're going to go out. And you make it happen, because it's very important. This was huge. When you plan something like this, of this magnitude for the whole country, and you said it's a nationwide thing, it was very important that you have all of the, not only the logistics, but also all your specific dates and what you need to do, when, and who is going to do what and when, and all of that stuff, to make sure that the public is also informed of all of that. So that when you come out and said, we met with the government and we gave them a date, you should have said, we gave them a date. If we don't hear anything up to that date, we will move on with our plan. You know, I think that was a very important piece that was missed there. If I would say that, I think it was missed. If it wasn't missed, then why didn't it happen up to now? But if it was, yeah. So I'll let you respond to that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Exactly the way you are putting things, this how we also put our plans. Because the 9 demands that we put to the government, we have made it clear, the short term, medium term, and long term. Because there are certain demands that cannot be addressed right now. And there are certain demands that need short-term decisions, medium term. This is why we put it into 3: short-term, medium term, and long term. This is how we put our demands. And the recommendation that we send to the Ministry of Trade, that is part of our short-term demands. This is why when we don't have any response from the state on that short-term demands, it is not necessary for you to go for the medium term or long term.
Correct. Now, have you also put in there that once they receive your letters or your demands, I think it would have been nice for the government to, a representative from the government, to come out in public on social media or press release, make a press release. I don't know if that was done. I wasn't following that. But, to come out with a press release and said, to acknowledge that they've received your demands, they've received what you as a group was demanding, and that they will address them accordingly. Yes, I know that we all know the way government runs. So we all know for a whole country, for a whole country to change something is changing habits and changing a lot of things. There are certain things that can be done immediately. Certain actions can be taken immediately, but there are a lot of things that will have to be, just like you said, short-term, mid-term, and long-term plans. But if the government had come out and addressed all of them and acknowledged that they've met with you and they've done this, and here are your demands, and this is what they're going to do with your demands, I think that would have been something that people can believe in, and also look up to hold them accountable, to make sure they get them done, knowing that they also have specific dates in your demand, that if at least the minimum expectation was, if the minimum expectation was not met by so-and-so date, we will move on with our plan.
Thank you very much. This is, in fact, this was our agreement with the trade ministry. minister and his team will have a joint press release, press statement with the minister and his team. That was the agreement.
Okay.
And that fails.
Did that happen?
Yeah, this is why we said we are disappointed. This is why we come out with that press release saying that the group is disappointed because government failed to address our demands. Because the first agreement between us and the trade minister and his team was that, after all agreement compiled together, we'll have a joint press release. That never happened.
Okay, so
and we have put that to them.
Okay.
The letter sent to them, we have put it there.
Yeah.
Because that was the agreement.
Right. And so they failed that. They failed to do a joint press release
Yes.
with you.
Yes.
That tells you that they're not serious.
This is why we said the government, we are disappointed because they failed to address our demands.
And that's when you guys,
yes,
right,
all the agreement we made with the government, definitely they failed us.
No,
so I think that's when you go with plan B.
Yes, this is why we said, this is why we said, because of our short-term demands, government failed to address, we will announce a date because we postponed for a purpose. That is to have a dialogue with the state and have an end result that's going to be positive. But that doesn't happen. It means we are now going into our plan B. That is, hence government failed, we postpone, we don't cancel, we postpone, government failed to address, then we will come out again. I hope you
I think what Sam is trying to say is that because of the time since that happened and now it's been months or probably 6 months or more, and Plan B should have been.
We postponed in November. We engaged the government. We read our recommendation. We have our short-term demands of a period of 3 months. That has just elapsed now.
So now the short-term demand has elapsed, and then now you are making after Ramadan, you definitely announcing the date.
Hence, the short-term demand is not addressed. We don't expect them to address the medium-term, neither the long-term.
Yeah. So here's my point with that. Okay.
Yes.
If the first failure was you made an agreement with them to come out and do a joint press release.
Yeah.
And that failed. The moment that joint press release failed, nothing else is going to happen. They are not going to meet your demands because they have not done the joint press release. Even if they do the press release on their own, just to acknowledge your demands and say, we've heard from the pressure group. They gave us a list of demands that they want or they are requesting for us to take action on. And here is what we're going to do. Even if they've done the simple acknowledgement on radio or television, a press release that is circulated so all of Gambia can see that, yep, your mission is not necessarily accomplished, but they've heard what you're doing. They heard you. They heard you loud and clear. They've seen your demands and they are addressing it. They are willing to do something about it. They're willing to take action. So once they fail that, I would not, if I were you, I would not even expect them to do anything with short-term demands.
This is why we said, we are disappointed. Because just imagine writing to you, receiving my letter, making an acknowledgement that you have received my letter, fail to respond to me formally. We send a second follow-up letter again. We don't have any response. That sounds to us as a group, something is cooking. This government, they will never fulfill their side of the story. This is why we said, hence the short-term demands are not addressed by the state. It is not important for us to go for the second medium term, neither the long term.
Okay,
because counting start at 1. You cannot just jump from 1, you go to 2 or 3. Our short-term demands, government failed to address.
Well, in my opinion, if I've seen that, like I said, that red flag to me was, let's do a joint press release. You agreed to do a joint press release. They fail. That's the red flag. Once they fail that, nothing else will happen.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Okay.
The joint press release will come after, when we send our recommendations, they work onto that, and then it will come out.
But he hasn't.
How we as a group, how do we think these issues can be addressed?
So it hasn't even joined. It hasn't even get to the joint press release.
No,
it doesn't even get to that part.
We as a group, how we think the issues that we raise can be addressed.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that is to me, to me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but to me, that is nonsense, because if a government, we're talking the government needs to know what to do. If you tell them, here are problems, and they're turning around and asking you, tell us how do you want these to be addressed, that means they don't know how to address them. Well, some of the items are very evident, or very obvious, that they need action. Action need to be taken. You know, they know better. The government should know better. A government cannot be out there and knowing that there are problems out there, which they are aware of, and then turn around to ask the pressure group, how do you want us to address it? That is, to me, that is nonsense. They should acknowledge that, yes, these are problems, or at least say, we are going to look at this, even if they don't know that they're there. We are going to investigate this and take action. You know, taking action is the key here. Investigate and take action. If you don't know something was happening and people tell you this is happening, and I guarantee you that there are some things in there that well, we knew about the fishery stuff, right? We all knew about the fishery stuff. So what is the outcome of that? At least say something, come out and say something, take action. If I don't see any actions in on your side, that means that I will feel neglected. My demands are really not important, or you're just looking at me as I'm foolish. So I am going to go with plan B and go take action. If they don't take action, I will take action. And my action is, so I will move on.
This is why we are coming out with a plan B.
Okay, so let's I think we wait, Sam, Ramadan is started already, so it's almost finished. Let's wait for Mr. Bojang and the group to see what the plan B is and how effective this plan B would be. Now, the only thing here is that we just don't want to hear, as a pressure group, to be saying that again. They pull us on the side. They want us to talk again, because it's not going to happen. So this time around, there shouldn't be any like mediator coming to say something, or any ministry coming to meet you guys just to talk down the situation. They have ample time to do that. They haven't responded. So when when we don't see any response, when you guys didn't see any response, there is no hope for this. So you just have to go in.
After Ramadan, we only need to apply a permit. That's it.
Okay. And what I will let Mfamara comes, one of our co-hosts here. Mfamara has joined, so he would continue with you. I know it's Ramadan. We're just gonna take it easy on you, but you have put yourself in a position that need to be questioned like this, because if you say that you're a pressure group and then you make all this hype, it was a hype on the internet. Progressive for Gambia said on November they will do this. They will come out, So everybody is like hopeful. And all of a sudden, people started to see no action. Some people would even think like perhaps you guys were giving something on the back. Who knows?
That was said. But we made it very clear to the public that we don't take anything from the government. And according to our press release, we said
no,
the government failed to address our demand. If government come, they say they want negotiation. Definitely, we cannot say no if we don't have any hidden agenda. And that at this group, we don't have any.
No. What I'm saying here is that people are people, and this government is good at. This government is good at those kind of things. That's why people's mind gonna go there. So if you guys get silenced all of a sudden, or say, "Oh, we are talking," and then, well, people can say maybe they have been, given on the back, something. hitting. That is probably
me personally, I met with somebody a day after our press release. Our joint press release to postpone the peaceful plan protest. The person told me that Joe Masowala.
Okay, so look at that. That means that you're probably they probably think that your pocket also have been funding or something. Yeah. So because this is a typical Gambian way of operation, and the government is very good at that, and previous governments were. So yeah. But I will allow Mfamara to come in, and then Mfamara can also contribute. Mfamara, welcome on board.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Sam and Mr. Sawane. Mr. Bojang, welcome to the program. I'm glad to have you here. And then thank you so much for all the efforts that you are making. In fact, when you guys announced the protest in November, it's like every Gambian was ready for this day because it is a group that is not related to any political group or any political party. And we all know that corruption was very rampant. We all know that it was time to tell government what is happening in the system, whether they are aware or not. But then it is time that the system. So everybody was getting ready for this protest. In fact, some people are saying we're going to protest for women lives matters. Some people are saying we are going to protest about environmental destruction. So that protest was something that was all inclusive because it was organized by patriotic citizens that have no affiliation whatsoever. All they want to see is government to take action on corruption in our country. So this is why even the government was very concerned, and they were very, worried that we need to engage these people. We need to make plans to see how we can escalate, this protest from not happening. This is why I'm not surprised they engaged the Supreme Islamic Council. But Mr. Boja, I'm going to ask you in local language. Kabring Altata Supreme Islamic Council. Of course, and then government minister Kabring Allah later dundi prove to go for a protest. Obviously, government yal engage high level minister social engage. But at what point le inata decide ko nyantata Supreme Islamic Council because maybe until minister sol man convince not to have this protest. At what point did they engage the Supreme Islamic Council?
Okay, abarka bake ya ila nyini karola. Amanke ko ni tolle kajaso do okola ngana ndasu Islamic Council. Akumasta dame wolen diko the CIU. Interpol IG's office. Kabinga safaro ke ka fo kombe funla ka demonstration ko on the 11th of November. Yambal pamitola. Ntol min kada redon kadi am ngane we decided to go alinga asaba kote. But no safaro ko jeni ka decline kind of radio station to ko program ko with or without permit come November if they fail to address our demands in the fundila. Ko wala message de nimi bitaka.
Okay.
So kablu wala engage CIU office nga lieutenant press conference okenu ngol organize no wala for force kan command because ndem bi jam pirane yang call ko isula na pour ini ngadia ko anyway lan ibara ngana executive mol kalamtan so ngana mol call ngata ndile ko nyil ko isula kan pour ini ngasi and bibi la ko no bi te possible no so nada they select data je ni CIU office je Interpol agila office je nga kaja lo jabaso e ko nga press conference of left min kele pour nga cancel konta cancel in the sense ko press conference on the market kon kada la ko be holo luwas be na ko fu le gel so kacha kono ni na ta ñoo moy e ko sila be molecular ni pour na area ni protect ko no na be kele fana kana uniform tilt because ni yam uniform tilt sama ni bi na be wol intermediate la bay ni paral bi dia high gas ni ton ko ni mole gel or la ko so do mole sila so ni inada d'accord wala ko sila be plein couleur sur le kila ngana press conference okay kayro kono so press conference okola Supreme Islamic Council wala commandro ke ko ya ka photo mo ko min lafta fundila ni Supreme Islamic Council dabula ndige wol ko ya ka folo moy min lafta fundila bari ko jeni itol fana ka moy la ibati ka foni mol commande be ni si yalo min be bulu
okay
ni Supreme Islamic Council bulande ko kono
okay
ko ni fana ka mol ko la fa fula November 11
Jumalom okay
okay I'm as executive on the ground and intelligent from the capital
okay
45 kilometers travel to attend orders all the diaspora but dolbi so wala kede Supreme Islamic Council la dunya de ko nyin kono dara nisita yanyininka ngana ko be foy wot lungola fay ka fanyo ko yara fan nin tol lota nungal la kuma falma aya tar nal man joje ngal to yel so yaje so ngana ko to silang inim ma sekunda be kajala na kele nyanye ibang bolla kumbala
ha
so mbije kili fula yen call iko lafta purun nin ma sekunda la molu ini tol na kajaso ko ko barin tol man ta la nin ande kaja kele mbakir sumi sami kan sulle it was me the Sunday yenaje ni kabenje that's the time the internal security affairs SIS the Interpol the other stakeholders be kanaje kaben sumi sami kan sulle kajanyin ko kajaje malakena yenin kaben kanna pour protection ni ye bay bari alla ban kere min dawlen ko because ma sekunda man pare ka funti with a press release ka tandi ko ka fole be glory min la ta funna bari ne engele so sign tenin ndol fanal watan ko nim ma sekunda ka press release o bondi ko dolla oto nim tol ba bayila be joint press release o
I think hello?
Yeah, it looks like Mr. Bojang is frozen.
Yeah, network issue, most likely.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Sawane. So, you know, these people were so prepared at the very beginning, but government played a delaying tactics on them, and then they pushed them to the corner. I'm not surprised. Well, if it is a Supreme Islamic Council that take up on their own initiative to engage them because they are concerned citizens, they are also religious leaders, and they don't want to see any tension in the country. I mean, it's good for them to intervene. But we have seen a number of cases here where issues of national security threats are happening here, and the Supreme Islamic Council never intervene. But we applaud their initiative in this engaging these people. All right. I believe if Mr. Bojang is listening, if at all they agree at the Supreme Islamic Council that they should postpone this protest until further notice, until maybe the demands they ask from the government, you know, to be met. If they are not, they should go back to Supreme Islamic Council and say, hey, we come off to this office here when we want to do our protest, and you engage us, and through our dialogue with you and the government, we decided to put off this protest. But so far, whatever we agreed there, it's not happening. So we are just worried whether the government is taking us seriously or not, you know, and then maybe if necessary, they can organize another press conference and say, hey, we postpone our protest because we had an engagement with Supreme Islamic Council. But so far, so good. All the agreements that we agreed there, nothing has been implemented. We want to go home, you know. And the thing is, right now, I'm not even sure if the government even going to accept any protest right now. We are going into local government elections. I know the mayoral election is also coming. And for the fact that the UDP also came out to protest about corruption. And then now we have seen government's effort in trying to put the corruption bill at the National Assembly. I don't know whether this protest will even ever happen, you know, because it's something that, okay, they want corruption. And we don't know, I don't know if even government even replied to UDP's letter, the petition they put forward. I don't know whether they did or not. So in the other side, I might see it as a repetition, you know, of you know, another protest on a subject matter that has already been done by another political party and some Gambians, because it was led by a political youth party. But then other Gambians joined who are not affiliated with that political party because they feel corruption was something that the government needs to do something about. And then when the government in the interview, they said, well, they are fighting corruption now because they're using the case of P.S. Banja, who has been jailed recently for corruption. And they are also mentioning about anti-corruption bill that is on his way or back to the National Assembly again. So I don't know whether this Mr. Bojang and the group, whether government is going to take them seriously again if they want to do protests again. Of course, there's their right as citizens, you know, to highlight whatever they feel is not working right in the country, to go and do something about it. But I don't know. That maybe Mr. Bojang can explain to us. But right now, the way I'm seeing things and the delaying tactics I'm seeing, and the government's non-responsive to their plans that they agree, I don't see these things happening anytime soon. I don't know how you analysis that.
Yeah. So, Mfabara, you mentioned a very important thing now. I mean, it just give me, you know, and I thought that now that the anti-corruption bill is in the parliament, is back in the parliament, and perhaps we're gonna see by the beginning of next month something done about it. It's gonna get passed, okay? Because the parliamentarians already they really said that they would, they would table it again and make the corrections and get it passed. So that would be a weapon, or that would be something that the government can say, okay, you see, we are very serious about corruption. I mean, we are fiscal responsibility. You see that we earned this anti-corruption bill the first time in the history of our nation. So to their credit, and also now that there are numerous protests about corruption, I think that would defeat them, their purpose of coming out, because the situation has been addressed. I mean, is getting addressed now. So them coming out would be just an addition, because other groups already started to come out, especially, I don't know, MPP also, MPP groups are also trying to make a similar protest. So in other words, the progressive for Gambia, they had an opportunity to act earlier and then get the momentum going. But like I said, the negotiation really hold them back. Like Sam and I were telling him that there's supposed to be a plan B, that action should have been taken without having to waste too much time. But again, this is something that I know this group, the reason why this group, we have them here is to make sure that, we see how, like how authentic or how serious they are about what they said they were about to do that time. And then with all the hypes and all the support that they get, why did it fail? I mean, the nationwide protest, just because they want to negotiate. So I think he explained that. It might not be well received, but he already explained that they were trying to follow certain protocols, and they have not been. The government is not ready to play their part. So again, it's very important to have those kind of pressure group, and not just for the sake of it, but to make sure that they do what they say they're doing. And I think that's why Mr. Bojang was really, if you see him, he was going back and forth that we did that, we did this, we did this, we did that. We didn't, when they come to us to negotiate, we cannot say no. That's most of the thing that they're saying. And then I also asked him about whether they gave them some money or some kind of thing to stay back. He said that was a speculation, but that never happened as well. So I will let Sam come in. Sam come in, and then Famara, you can wrap it up.
Yeah. This is an interesting topic, and unfortunately, it dropped off. And maybe signal bad network, and we all know that it's not easy. But I think from the beginning, when you call such a magnitude protest in the whole country, and then you fail to do it, is very demoralizing to people, and it really discourages people. And people, a lot of people get disappointed that they started this and they did not fulfill, they did not finish what they needed to do. And like I said, there should have been contingency plan in their objectives that what if they should have answered all those questions themselves before they come out. What if this happened? What if this happened? How do we address? How do we have this? To get all of those in check, so that when the moment the press release, the joint press release failed, that was an indication that the government is not interested in doing anything with them. They should have moved on at that point. They should have actually had a date, another date in place. If this failed, this is, or when they fail to have the joint press release, we're going to go out on so and so in a very short period of time. That way, everyone can see them as serious, and that they mean what they say, and they're going to do what they say. So that's not at all. On the other side, Famara brought up a very good point. the anti-corruption bill in the going to the parliament, or it's in the parliament now, and they're talking about it and things like that. I think, in my opinion, even if regardless regardless of the anti-corruption bill, there were a lot of things, a lot of revelations from the audit report that was coming out. I think action should have been taken. Some action should have been taken when the national audit report says that millions and millions of Gambian dollars has been missing in Toronto Place. Immediate action should have been taken. They should have gone into, the government should have gone into that institution and really put those involved or those responsible. I'll put it that way. Somebody's got to be responsible. So those responsible should have been put on investigative suspension. That's how you show people that you're serious. You put them on investigative suspension and investigate. Once you investigate, and then you come up with the results and then take action at that point. But when the government says millions of dollars, or the other report says millions are missing from Toronto Place, somebody need to jump on that. Yeah, somebody need to jump on that seriously. That should not have anything to do with the anti-corruption bill. That's already in the Constitution. That's Gambia's law. You know, we cannot have money missing in Toronto Place and the government doesn't do anything about it. So those are my concerns, and they really should not be any way to the anti-corruption bill. Yep, I think he's back now.
Yeah, Lamin.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I think we lost you. Yeah. Yeah, you were saying something. Famara, you and Famara, you can go ahead.
Yeah, but for Canadian Supreme Islamic Dunta Kul Kolonyame. So Lamin Tefe Dal, Yinko, you know, Tarde market jele. You know, Tarde market nyaming, Ali Kul plan yamin kola follow dula, Yinata Kul Busal Bulu Yamin Kuman Nake. So Ontanga Mira, you know, Adel Nyanta Muruna Supreme Islamic Council le Kotenke. Ali afwe ko ninga dakoro min soto jan nimma sakundanga min kata jam femmanta ma ko to hankabi yaje yella moy Supreme Islamic Council be min fola bare ndefana kam min fo nyim ko fon yamara man tarde silambang aman tarde in the sense ko kabring atelier bay ngajele political party do fi da min boko UDP won fana protest about corruption yo
Exactly.
MPP ko fana ko be fintile no kana corruption bar woli eta bayle yaje
Exactly.
inata bay bari sai nada masakundaje ni corruption kumo voike jabiro kamen na ko e be corruption o kere kan because fine afele permanent secretary of fisheries Dr. Banja ye o soronne because corruption charges solom yaje
Okay.
e ko fana bota je ko sai corruption biloni abitaka national assembly le sai so we atani lo masakunda be step o takanne maybe atal lo concern and maybe concern do mini an constitutional yaso yo ando manna jabiri je fana biri UNP fana tara mamre jab ye petition o di man jabiri fana moy min funtita katandi ko woli demand sol min fangay bol jabila so budun saying atelta bayta nyame because atelta wole fon e banko be sula mo bebe korontoro no wole fon kamano yaje
Okay.
you know ko nyin nata bayndal bulu nyambi han masakunda fon be dewde no ko wala no bakele because yalo noko alkana funti wati la wati mi yalon ko you know definitely mobi yalno ko masakunda corruption o bijele mobi yalno kul mantrata kukan mobi yalno ko bagasol be sere kan balu ko leare ne ando fion fe je masakunda nyanda ko contrôler mantrata keka yaje so e kol bayndal bulu dame akamunta ko dal yal turo katle dal nsul fo dal because sembo min natana sembo min bije sembo min na because ni banko bele pare na kamba bar kabra bayte dron comme font min fo module amira fo e kodo dire man ko di lalla you know bari comme da molla fayol fata dal because molla sem min tan la masakunda la no sembola Supreme Islamic kan natolo bondal bulu bara fele sai itelbe dering al d'accord ta minna femman tara tama ka ko to Lamin yamara sang alman tar ko la bang wala ko yamara de nyun ko tula je silamba
okay ilo nyini karo kuma da baki ila danta mambela flaka je senani bake bayri nyimu banko be pol di gambe ko le kafo gambe di wala funti de gambe la kofo ke la tombo di mo le kontibo yo yemi fo folo ko Supreme Islamic Council ni yefo tenting wol bayri ko ku tamadan don ni ma sekunda tema fo nga peaceful plan protection nyim baye nga sembendi idabi jele mitim man foy ko num fanan kabiri ngaje ko lo toya nimman sakundan tolinga planyal billa walla ngal na go sidal min di imantra address kan biga address la murunde tolle kan to sumi sama ka sumi ka tani la bari tolle mi je tolti ni tema nan ko ko kala fonge kalam tan fonge kalam tan ni wala sabu murunde kan ka tani le ko na press release o mi boni kan na disappointment o tandi nga sia wi media houses ni ko pile bari ko o ma tanya ngatan ni nga diamu datu da ni mo kele
ayo okela already ye supre islamic council jele
ne jele press release o ko la nge copy le data ni sita
okay
ndum ngo ko indile ko ndol disappointed nyinni asa bayda tollo mun nite ma mediatolti jenin ka alka kuma do moy wala alka moy tani amma kalam tan sina ka adana kay to do bani sinan nale si moma ngafo ni ngo kele okay ni na te yakuma do ko Gambian ko political party dol fundita ka corruption la ko fenke dol fana be masakunda ni afo ko sai corruption kele kan ni ajibe dol as a group amman ko corruption o damma ngolo chodi because mimbi jawlandi ko abene dimension ko the 9 points namin safe abene dimension ko the skyrocketing of prices in the market science for falling kalama
ani woman falling
yalo man falling the burning of the fisheries department, investigation of Minketala, the task force means set up that. Almost we are into the second year. Government is yet to come out with something. But Dungalonko, fire service report on the burning of the fisheries department. Mindon meta body by the Malta, the joint how the SIS and police. But fire service mean public fire service spokesperson mean funding the for police. We are having that copy. Where Mintandiko Dimba Potter Dame. It's very unusual Dimba Boji. Well, on the Kamoto, the final Dimba, it only considered Dimba matter almost 1 year, sorry, 1 month, sorry, one hour. Wintero Wato. Wintero Dimba matter, Okola United to call. But the way Mintan the Wallendico, me ye Dimba Bonda, Sula to me, Malay, but the 4 Malata Okola and Commandro Dimba Falal. Well, report already 4 years for this day, war publication of the
okay.
Okay, yaje le sila woki sisiro mi bari e panelo London dunga yoko mansakunda banko dingo la tax dash ko kujama le filter water kujama le janto ni yaji be na fuloto ani kayti jama
bake
ya lonko fenjama le sante wote place nola mansakunda ma femfo woto wo ban tolle dimension kon ya family okay the 669 million ni ya lonko government was authorized to close that account because it was illegally open. Yeah, so on the advice in other with the same name but different account number, meaning they are attending the call. Definitely, Kutama the Ministry the Bojang project. You cannot demand for a police along corruption of the moment that demand sold.
Okay.
The Bojang project, auditor solo query solving D. Now, something has to be done. The Bojang project, quite a bill, mean time again. Contract man sign. In any way, Muntole Dumiakon.
Equia pre-finance law.
I mean, that's one yellow won't awful, but yellow government has been deceived. They're deceived. Need data through the videos and audios, the opening of that contract on the silent woman. President me falling to go. The government has secured $30-something million to rehabilitate Banjul. What for them there? What for them there? Woman, could be phone. Yalan there, woman. So, ni na them way a pre-finance tally. Then it means I'm putting a leak. I but the work call for by Lamin job now that and Gileko, quality Masakunda Kangularo Kola for government has secured funding for Banjul. Yellow Bessenado. Okay, so me for pana wake up ni ko corruption Masakunda ka for sila imagine Dr. Bamba Banya sama kitty and for kitty as a sign they serving his sentence at the mile. That is true. But what people call ni G toto sika bakon. Motor revelation jele mo can sign on the side of the government. Now Masakunda press this over the global fund Masakunda be kodo sendile la.
Be sendile la
because niaje wole pressure la wole kam do nin atar dono solbe wole ke definitely corruption be kelle nyimba ko ka be fale because wala kudo ya ko ya dundu dai ma dundu wala ko ya lan kudo ma fala dundu ala dundu ala sendinda
ala sendinda
you understand? Okay, yalo war is a clear indication that definitely this regime is still system on you are caring. So if I follow ko Dr. Bamba Samba Kitiola, wodama audition ka report on body. Ijama le belari mi yalo ko government need to take action. Example, the Ministry of Health. Samat as the minister went into the parliament. Kawosi. Ako corruption of ala ministry consume kan. Okay, not a COVID fund audition report on board belenya. But also about the killing as the minister, I tell you, work audition report doya in the sense ko ako didn't want to audition. But I think he went to the national parliament. Katandi banku dole ko toya because kabla sita nyala for 3 o'clock ko tu put ka certain irregularities will get rectified. I work for National Assembly. Auditors on another report of when the ko toya puta mati mini silomanta where atandi ko pa sekunda man corruption kelede ni natan tola di marso bi the new constitution ni ko they have spent over $116 million here and outside the country put the government
yes.
Whoa, at the parliament because of individual interests, personal interests, it can't man President Barrow Febo, fight Kerala. But then go, the 1997 constitution, me, I can't tell you if I come Malu, Ninga, President Barrow, one line, the appointment of the Keleka, based on the 1997 constitution, I come Malu. I come Malu, definitely, I come Malu fa. Ko minimum beti nga kele nga depense dunda kunna 160 million way bohol jelesin if you go to rural Gambia can be compared to bank killing.
Wallahi.
You can. You go to the hospital, Gambia go kasasa wala sasa do katrabla katalo kalabika botarigi. Presently say the dialysis machine me alone ko yaka aprobe kele. That money could have been spent onto that instead of I spent on the constitution bank do ko ilafe maraka mo minna akata at the National Assembly more the individual interest, partisan interest, where are some Bakudo come and pay left him and the war the banda. Then the National Assembly for them in the sense they are not serving the interest of the people, meaning a KJ. I have a concern for the National Assembly, me alongo inata, Purka Lua Kurul Falinge, media law sold me alongo sign. If you want to come out to demonstrate, you have to public order at fight committee. Those are colonial laws.
Yeah, definitely.
They are still in our books.
Yeah, but I mean, this is why they are using it. So
it's left to the government people now because the power belongs to the people. We put them in position. They cannot put themselves there. This is why when it times for election, they can come.
Back and forth.
We have to say.
Yes.
Ignorance is the number one enemy. Me and development for drill, but I send the comma. Ignorance. It's a moment I can for Alina Blage. Mansano nala watu banda. Ndui itela kateka karte karfa wola. So we have to sensitize the people through the actual media houses.
Yeah, okay. Lamin mentioned a very important key here, Pamara and Sam. So it looks like they can still proceed with their demonstration in other areas. I glad they are very important. Like the burning of the fishery and also the constitution and other demands.
Yes.
That those ones actually the current protest the current organization that are protesting about corruption and president under the approval of the anti-corruption bill will really not touch those areas. So I think we should hold them accountable after Ramadan to see that those areas that has nothing to do with the other areas that the other groups or the government is trying to fix, which is the corruption bill and other things.
Yeah, so, but Lamin mentioned that they already engaged Supreme Islamic Council. So I think now before any protest, I think they need to organize a press conference. Press conference inform the Gambians that we have made all the necessary steps that we are supposed to do. And as you are already aware, the government asked us to postpone this because of Supreme Islamist intervention. But then after that, nothing has happened based on the plans that we agreed on. And then now we are calling this press conference to let every Gambians know that Supreme Islamic Council and the government did not respond to our demands or the agreements that we agreed on. So based on that, we are going to announce a date for a protest. Don't just come out and do a protest, but maybe now do a press conference again. I think press conference should be the next plan of action. And then after that, if Supreme Islamic Council did not engage the government back, to sit at the table and implement what they agree on, then now maybe they can plan to do again. But I don't see any protests coming because we are going to local elections, up to May. So probably it will be like in June or probably July, we're going to rainy season and all those things. But anyway, I think it's good to remind the government, but it's also good to remind the Gambian citizens that Supreme Islamic Council failed to do what they have agreed on. I think that's also important.
No.
Yeah.
Let me make this point very clear, because our last engagement with the Supreme Islamic Council was that let us send them a copy so that for them they will sit with the government. That's our final, and it's almost that's just 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
They will engage the government because we told them plain that we are disappointed and we are ready to come out again. We've made it clear.
I have one question.
Now, let us give them time. They will engage the government. That is just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, Mr. Bojang, my question is, initially, when Supreme Islamic Council came to you, did they tell you they are there to represent the government? Or were they getting involved, representing themselves to know who you are and what is this group about and all that stuff? Because this really should not have anything to do with them. It should not be, it should be none of their business. You know what I'm saying? It should be, I don't know how they get, I mean, I understand they got involved, but when they got involved, did they tell you guys that they were there to represent the government?
No, actually, they did not tell us that they are representing the government. They said they had a group that want to come out to demonstrate on the 11th of November.
Yep.
This is how they come into the picture. After having meeting with them, they said, okay, we heard from you. We'll engage the government. That is the state, the government. Give us.
Yeah, I think that's where things.
I think
things fail because
yes.
Number one, the moment they came in, they should have said that if they were to represent the government, they should have said that we were elected or sent by the government to come talk to you. That way, you know that you're dealing with them because they're going back to the government.
Let me clear this point. What the president told us the day we met with them was that the head of this group who want to come countrywide to demonstrate as citizens of the nation and also as the
religious group. Yeah.
they deem it necessary for them also to intervene.
Yeah. They came by themselves. They came
by themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, they were representing themselves. So that should not have stopped them from still going to the
government. They represent themselves. Yeah, they represent themselves. That's what they told us. This is why they said, then they hear from us. Let us give them a chance. They will talk to the government side. After 2-3 days, they call us again. They say, now they want us to have a meeting between us and the government, and they will be involved. You see how things started.
Yeah.
Of course, we are engaging with them, but they did not tell us that they are representing the government. They said, as consensus and as a regional body, they have an obligation.
Exactly.
Yes, this is why they intervene.
And
so
then
after hearing from us, then they said, let us give them time. They will also engage the side of the government. After 2-3 days, they call us. They said they want to have a dialogue with us and the government. We told them where. They said anywhere. We said no. If it has to be, we'll have to have it at your premises. They agree. If government agrees on that, we are going to meet government officials in the office. We made that point very clear. This is why all our meetings, until our final press conference, the joint press conference, we had our meeting at the Supreme Islamic Council.
Okay.
This is how they come into the fray together with Peace Network.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
So we're gonna, because of time, I think we are being over an hour. So Mr. Bojang, we're gonna try to wrap this up now. And then if Sam, you will be the last one to speak. If Sam and Famara has any final words.
Hello?
Yeah, Famara, you have any final words?
Oh yeah, just call Lamin to the wrong Jai. Ila banku dinkende yala because banku dinkendo ibike batu moya fo nyanta minkela ni fa fenje mi alonko ya sute ko banku mantara nyatu taka nyala ni de kontan, you know, ye sembo sutole yo right sutole ka funti kila ni kuyatandi andu ngamira ali wala kejang anu banku be amutal fele because birale nyi announce drong I camera mobile mamande chow mobile kontanta kola mimbi je wala mu, you know, kal sembentu yandi kal tentu kal jayi alla banku di yala so butungo kolbe sakirinda men alsa ngani kono tama ali ajube ali banku fana mol bondi kalama dal, you know, alkana mol tu sakiro nyaw niko mole lalla kafola so comme ani supreme islam hanatra protesto manke fana but at least ani supreme islamic council dante dame anyenta findla mol kana hana bakala press conference also okay nole almang permitting dani wala professional to dia multitron as a press conference call nole o last time on media house tole alia panel discussion organized ka tande mol la ko ntela nata kon November protest o kelale bare comme be ngalo nyame supreme islamic council interventale e ko nganyim ko tuje folo e nimma sakunda si ya discourse yo badeno agreement o fema na tamaje so butun sa en kolbe la rol nyama pour que banko mol kalamtandi mimbe kere isaje mol salon because ale points on mimfo they are very valid naje dr banja be soron na bi because of a ministry documento e ko corruptional dundaje yo nin dimbabo do la file be janita mola lo min tambito la famba e docteur banja mutamin na me docteur banja da mama nyinke ne bi modo le fana bi jele min yalon ko da bi je ko min na da ma taraje fo corruption min kere je adama lomba yaje wol ben fenete min yalon ko ali rights to ko nyinin ka because gambia no be ka wala nyinin ka minat na molbe fala minat na corruption be ke kan minana auditor report be igno kan so nyinka malambal tentula bal jela la initiative wala honestly I will nyameng ani symbol nata and bankole ya appreciate le so mbafla good luck in your effort, continue to dialogue baral banku dingol fana kalamutandi comme aliya kuma nyameng at the beginning molki la mo yalla so ninkol ta fana sakita mol nyantalo na fana mi atina be sakiring e saje nal funtere nan soma mol salla kol mutanim bultanim flola yo abaraka bake. Thank you so much Sawane. My name is Mr. Sam.
Thank you, Famara. Thank you. Sam.
Thanks, Famara. Thank you for that. Famara wrapped it up very nicely. So same thing I would say, Mr. Bojang, thank you for everything that you've done as a concerned citizen and a great citizen of Gambia that has noticed something or seen something that is wrong in our country and want to fight for it by engaging the general public to stand out in a protest to fight against corruption, fight against all of those 9 things or so that you have on your list. I would say that I'd like to commend you for coming out and doing that. So definitely a great citizen. So just a piece of advice, you know, just have a plan. Hey, if you're doing this, whatever you do, definitely have a contingency plan. And like I always say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So don't get yourself into that because your character and your reputation is on line with this, because when you plan something and it fails, people look at you as someone that they're not going to believe next time you said something like that. You know what I mean? So you need to keep that in the back of your mind. When you plan something, make sure you come to the bottom of it, get to the bottom of it. And no matter what happens, communication is key, just like Famara said. Come out and when you're talking, you know, talk about everything that's on your list. What you just said here, there's a lot of things on your list. Whatever you call it, the MOU, memorandum of understanding, or whatever you have, definitely voice them all out so people don't look at you as you're just fighting corruption. Yes, corruption is being fought by the government now. They are taking steps to me, in my opinion, is a very minor steps that they're taking. With millions and millions and millions of Gambian dollars being lost, and only one person is in prison now, that really is nothing. And the audit report shows a lot of stuff, and I have not seen anyone being arrested. I have not seen anywhere that they went to really close the office or put some people on investigative suspension and start investigating all of it. So keep up the good work that you're doing, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Sam, thank you, Famara. Before Mr. Bojang comes in, I would just have to add a few things that has been spoken about. First, the audit report. As you know, the president already expressed his view on the audit reports. I mean, that is flowing all over the world. I mean, like it's an opinion. I mean, when I had that, I was really banging my head on the table. I think with Gambia we are finished. I mean, the last person who's supposed to say that, the last one was supposed to be the president, because audit report is there to assist, to give you an idea something is happening. You gotta investigate. But if already the president has put out that opinion regular, it's like make it so like light. I mean, why do you think people who are, who are being audited or who could be audited would be feeling? They would feel like this is gonna be an easy ride. I mean, like and keep doing so you cannot be fighting corruption and encouraging it, kind of. So it was an unfortunate. I don't know, either on honest opinion of his understanding or his way of operation, or maybe a misstatement or something like that. But it was really sad. So I am glad that is people have really responded. And another thing is that the Gun Petroleum 25, I mean, I don't know how many millions, corruption issues. I don't know if you guys are, bringing those things out, some of those big monies that have been reported missing in your quest to hold the government accountable. So we can be specific on special, operations that were not being accounted for still. That would also help your organization to really, put out, these are the things that you guys are concerned about. Not on general term, but specific operations that haven't been accounted for. But other than that, I think, like we said before, your organization should just keep doing what they're doing, and perhaps focus on other areas that are not being touched. Like you said, constitutional, new constitutional review and constitution need to be put forward, and other areas that are not being accounted for. And it doesn't have to be only the government, but also, the Justice Department and the National Assembly and other areas that we seen appropriate behaviors or malpractices or some things that concerns the citizen. So I think, you are on the right path, but you just have to really look at, things, and then make sure that you put forward what you said. If you said that you're gonna come out, just come out. Nothing should stop you, because like I said, it's sweet to negotiate. It's sweet to be in compliance and all that. But as long as we know this is not gonna be solved by sitting down, come and do it, what you gotta do, as long as you do it within the frame of the law. So thank you for that. That's my final words on that. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sawanya. You mentioned something that I really forgot to mention. This Gun Petroleum saga is part of our demands. We even have a very strong discussion on that with the Justice Minister. I, for one, and I told him that what you are telling us here, if at all I read that from a newspaper or I heard somebody say, Justice Minister is the one who said this, I will say no. Because, I asked that question. People were taken to court. Almost 3 months, they were acquitted. Government don't have any sufficient evidence against who took the money. Now we hear government coming out with a press release saying they will bring a forensic expert to make auditing on that area again. What he told us definitely is so shocking. It's shocking. I told him plain, Honorable, if I read this on a newspaper or somebody told me that it's you who said this, I will say no. But sitting face to face with you as the state minister, justice minister who should advise government on legal matters telling us this, I'm really disappointed. I told him. It's so sad. That is also part of our demand. The Gambia Room saga. Thank God that you mentioned that. I have an advice for Gambians as concerned citizens. We put people in position. We put people in position, and we put them there not for the sake of for them to be there. They have to deliver, and we put them there for a purpose. That is, they have to serve our interests. Looking at the current National Assembly or the National Assembly, the first one and the second one, definitely is so disheartening. All the bad laws that we are complaining for 22 years are still the laws of this land. Only for Parliament to come and change few, that is the age limit, and if your party expel you, you will not lose your seat, to serve their interests only. But how many laws are there that is suppressing the Gambian people since 2016 today? And those are the laws that were used by the former regime. And it's the same laws that are still in our books. It's so sad and disheartening to hear Gambians saying that we are still ruled by 1997 constitution, almost 70, we are now into the 70s. This is why this group, we are here to stay as a pressure group to hold government accountable. My advice to voters, we are going into the local government election. Let's put the right people in the right position so that they can deliver to our expectation. Or else, this country will never move forward. And we should put our political difference aside when it comes to national interests. This is very important. Gambia first, than individual or partisan politics. Only to be going on social media, insulting each other will not solve our problem. We have to unite as Gambians, see Gambia as ours. That's the only way out this country to move forward. Unless we don't do that, I'm afraid our leaders will always be there for their interests. They will not serve the interests of people who put them there. And it is so sad and disheartening. Go to rural Gambia, postcards, and other means of transportation. You can go to hospital without having any medication. A small country like the Gambia. Gambia is ranked 110 in the world. Looking at our size, it's alarming and it's disheartening. Corruption, 110 out of 180 something. By looking at our size, if we rank 110, it's so sad. We have to do something as citizens. That is, we have to hold our political leaders accountable. That's the only way we can move this country forward. But going on social media, making audios, insulting each other, political leaders or, tribes, that will never solve our problem as citizens of this nation. We have a duty. It cost us a lot to have a regime change in 2016, after 22 years of dictatorship. Still, people are disappearing without trace. If you go through TRRC, definitely it's so sad. But what has changed? What has changed? But you will only hear political leaders telling us that no, this is what I do, a kilometer, nangam, kilometer, nangam, kilometer, nangam. How many people are living in that 70-something kilometers that you put a road there, are living in active poverty, are going to bed without food? But you would beat your chest and say, no, 10 kilometer nanga mo min da se jamme anin take back. But you mean that how many people are living in those areas going to bed without food? The backway syndrome is still existing. Government lose hope. This is why the backway cannot stop since 2017. How many government leave the source of this land from 2017 to date? The aspiration and the hope of the government people before the change of government in 2016, definitely that has been dashed. We are really disappointed as citizens of this nation. Let us come together and see Gambia as our property. That's the only way this country will move forward. But without that, definitely we are only giving advantage to the people we put in position. They will not serve our interests. They will just be there for the sake of their personal interests. So my advice, hence we are going towards local government election. Let us put the right people in the right position so they can serve our interests. Gambia first.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, Mr. Bojang. We really appreciate that, and I think our viewers will appreciate this. Sam and Favara, thank you for your contribution and coming here, sensitizing the Gambians every Sunday. This is a great endeavor that we are pursuing here. It's worth doing it for our country, and then we all are collectively contributing one way or the other for the well-being of the Gambia. So we thank you for your time, really, in this Ramadan and in coming out here talking about issues that matters to our people. And I hope people are gonna learn from what we discussed today, because most of us didn't know all these things that have been said here, but we learned from this kind of meetings. So I thank you.
Thank
With
you.
that note,
Thank you.
all right, have a wonderful breaking fast, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Favara. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Boya.